Flavor Town. You didn't see that before.
On the streets, we had to lock her down because she kept opening herself up for everyone. Yeah, she's got a tattoo on her butt right here, so yeah. She's a good pick though. She hasn't left me yet, so. All right, so this is the brew house. No, it's not just for show. Yes, it does work. I get that question all the time. It is German engineered. This whole brewery costs somewhere in the neighborhood of about $8 million to build. Yes. You know what I could build on land for $8 million in a brewery? Exactly. That's why these ships cost $1.5 billion to build. Yes. So, honestly though, it's one of the best brew houses that I've ever worked on. It's got a panel over here, touchscreen panel. It has all kinds of temperature controllers. It has flow controllers. It has everything that you need. You just set percentages and it does it for you. They designed this thing so that one person could easily run it. Because guess what? One person does. Usually he's the one running. So we have a grain storage room downstairs. We use whole grain. So we also have a mill. So we run that grain through a mill just like any other brewery in the world, right? And then only difference between our mill room and mill storage area is it's probably the cleanest you will ever see. There is no dust, there is nothing, because that's what we have to do, right? We have to clean it, we have to wipe it down. Everything has to be perfectly spotless, right? We have to break the mill down, everything else. So once we do that, once we mill that grain, we're going to bring it up here. We're going to throw it in this tank here. We're going to cook it for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of water. What's happening is enzymes are breaking down, sugars are getting into solution, and that's what we want, right? We want that sugar. But we don't want that leftover grain husk and protein and all that. Harrison Finley, sir, how are you today? You'll have to come see me later, sir. HD. Don't tell me. We can sign on. So you want that, you don't want all that material, right? That grain material. So we have to separate that out. So what we do is we send it from here to here, right? And this has a false bottom. It's got this grate in there, and it doesn't allow any solids to pass through. It only allows liquid. So basically what we do is create like a reverse French press. That makes sense?
Yeah.
We're causing a suction below that bottom, that false bottom. It's pulling all of that grain down, and then the liquid's going back on top. What we're doing in doing that is we're creating what we consider a filter. Okay? It's almost like making coffee. We need that filter. Also, still in that grain is a lot of sugar that's trapped. Okay, so once we get that grain set and filtered, we're then going to strain it through that grain filter, and we're going to send it back over here, which is going to be clean by that time, right? And this then becomes a boil kettle. It's ran off of steam. It's got this little cylinder that's in the middle. That's called a calandria. It's a steam-powered calandria, and so it's very efficient. It rolls very, very well, and it keeps everything moving to where it doesn't caramelize and all that. It's got this constant motion going on. We boil it because guess what? It's not sanitary, and it's still got wild yeast and bacteria or whatever from the grain, from the field. That. And again, we don't want to fight against that stuff. Typically, that's where we're going to add our hops as well. Right? Hops are plant matter, so that's going to get in there. And also there's some proteins and stuff. They coagulate together. Kind of looks like egg drop soup in a way. And it's done, well, we don't want that in the tank. Right? That's going to grab onto the yeast and mess up everything. So what do? We send it back to the strainer. Yeah, so we send it back over here. So this is a, you know about brewing, this is a ladder ton / whirlpool. Okay, we're going to whirlpool that liquid. One, to try to cool it down some. Two, all that protein and plant matter, because we're creating a high pressure zone on the outside, making a whirlpool. As that whirlpool slows down, that high pressure zone pushes in and pushes in. And guess what it does? It pushes all of that material into the middle. And as long as you don't mess with it, it stays there. And so then we pull the clear liquid off the side. And as that liquid falls down, that material, that schmutz is what we call it, or, you know, stays right there, and it creates just this like island. And we get clear water into the tank. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the cold side of that and where the beer lives. Somebody asked me why this thing is empty, because beer, right? Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go inside the brewery. Okay. I regret this every week, but we are going to go in there. It is a working brewery, right? So with your eyes, not with your hands. You guys are all very dirty, and I mean that in the most disrespectful way. Right? We all have grimy, touching, so touching, leaning, all of that just creates more bacteria and cleaning and everything that we have to do for us. So keep your hands to yourself.
What's the time process to do these?
This system's pretty efficient. In 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours. You know, like at a normal brewery, you'd run through it in 6 hours or whatever. But on here, guess what? We can't just leave stuff laying around and make it look like all messy and everything. They expect it to look perfect when we're done. Like it never worked. Yeah.
So you actually use these two, or are they for show?
No, this is not for show. This is actual, yeah, this is it.
Production.
This is production. Yeah.
How do you clean it?
We do it during port day. Alright, so we haven't really figured out this week which port day we want to brew. Nikolai wants to brew one last beer with me before I leave. We just haven't really figured out that day. But, you know, if you come pass by one of the port days, you'll see it in operation. How do we clean it? We use harsh chemicals. We use very harsh chemicals. And it has spray balls, and it's set up to be able to clean itself. So
I do make lime, so I know it's gotta be sanitary.
Yeah. So this part really doesn't need to be sanitary. It just needs to be clean. Because guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna boil it. So we're gonna sanitize that in that process.
What's your average yield that you have to put out to feed the ship?
It depends. Depends on the ship. Depends on the guest count. It depends on how many of you guys are kids. Hopefully kids aren't drinking the beer. Right? So it's
drinking Miller Lite.
Right. There's that. And we have some of the best bourbon at our bar. Like, there's all these things. So it's very hard to determine. This system, though, can do, depending on the style of beer and alcohol content, do anywhere from 700 to 900 liters at a time. Yeah.
How long can you start a big?
As far as working this, or from like start to finish when the beer is actually ready to serve?
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. So you guys ready?